Just a man doing a Packer podcast in the middle of Titletown. Nothing to see here. Don't look at me weird. But you should watch or listen. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Lombardi Time Brews, where I'm your host, John Delray. Yeah, on location in beautiful Titletown. You can see behind me some of the new builds, the Titletown Flats, as I think they're called for the Packers, but all part of the Titletown development. I do have to say, if you've never been here before, as you come to Green Bay, I would stop in Titletown. It's an incredibly beautiful outdoor space, and luckily today, one that's pretty vacant for our purposes. So, this is the plan pretty much every day for training camp. As I've been saying, I'm going to be coming to almost every single training camp practice, and I will be doing a video quickly thereafter to get you the news about what happened in camp. If you want news as it happens, like you want live tweeting, then just go follow me on Twitter at LTBPackersPod, where you can get the live tweets of me at practice. One scheduling note: Saturday, I'm not going to be doing a recap video because I'm going to be here with my family, but I'll still be live tweeting that practice. So today, tomorrow, you can definitely plan on these video recaps where I'll include pictures and the little clips of film that I'm actually allowed to share. So I'm going to be doing that. And then also you can bank on the fact that for these recaps, I'm pretty much just going to find an isolated spot somewhere on the Lambeau campus. So if you happen to hear noise around me or see people, I'm sorry. I just want to get the news out to you as quickly as feasible for our setup here. So let's dive into training camp day one. It looked like it may not happen with all the rain showers this morning. There were talks of thunderstorm, hail. Like, I'm not going to lie, I left a little bit later than I was planning on because I was like, I don't know if they're really going to do this or not. But then, hey, the clouds kind of peeled away and practice began. So Matt LaFleur had a pre-practice press conference. Didn't exactly give a lot of details in it, as you would expect. But we do have an injury report for this practice. One, Caleb Jones did not practice. He was out injured. Tarvarius Moore, or I should say illness for Caleb Jones. I'm sorry. Tarvarius Moore illness as well. Carpenter illness as well. So I don't know if they were all hanging out or what, but like all three of them have got an illness and they are not practicing today. Grant Dubose, we learned what his injury finally is. Turns out that it's a back injury for the Packers' 7th round pick. Hopefully he can come back soon because he's got to start actually playing to make the 53. Again, apologize for the noise. Yep, there they go. Lovely, lovely Titletown worker. All right, moving on. Sean Gary, Eric Stokes, they're both out. Although I will say, if you look at this attached video, Eric Stokes seems to be moving pretty okay. Obviously, he's coming back from a really severe foot injury, and the man's moving. We don't know as if he's going to get back to that 4.2 speed anytime soon. We don't know if he's going to play anytime soon, but seems to be moving pretty free. Cameron McDonald also returned today off of the NFI list. And then Jeff Cotton, the wide receiver, he actually has been waived. He was previously injured. Now he's been waived. They signed yesterday Cody Crest, wide receiver with some ridiculous speed. I'll talk about him at a different time, but they signed him to take Cotton's spot. He also, very happenstance, took his number 82 as well. So, to talk about the things that everybody's waiting on, Jordan Love, how did he look in his first training camp practice as QB1? And I would say mixed. I know that's a very lackluster response. Everyone's hoping for great things, or maybe somebody's hoping for bad things. But the truth is, he had some throws today that got caught in the wind. He just airmailed them a little bit. He was quick and decisive. He rolled out well because the pressure was coming today. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. The pass rush was coming for all the Packer quarterbacks today. Nonetheless, Love got the ball out pretty quick. He was able to find receivers. It's just at times some air got under the ball and they fell incomplete. He also dealt with some drops. Christian Watson seemed to have a case of the drops today. There were a few different reps where Love hit Watson on what should have been catchable balls, and yet they were not caught, and the blame did not go to the QB on those. And then I will say, too, for those of you, if you're a believer in the fact that the net drill is what makes a great quarterback, well, from 15 yards out, they were utilizing the nets. Love was in motion twice. He hit it back-to-back throws, which none of the backups hit any. So, hey, there you go. Or at least I should say nothing like what Love was doing with the movement. So Love hitting back-to-back in the nets. It's something. Now, as for the kicker, Carlson, the rookie kicker, I know we want an update on him as well. Overall, on the day, I think he did really well. There's no doubt that his big leg, that is apparent. That is clear. The man's got a leg. There was one 42-yard field goal rep that he did where the ball sailed over the net. He definitely has a big leg. Did 6 reps in between 35 and 45-yard attempts, where we're talking like an actual line in front of him and D line in front, not just free kicking. 6 reps. He went 5 of 6. He did miss one wide left. I think that one was from like 45 out. Everything's, of course, roughly approximate. But overall, not at all a bad day for the rookie kicker. Day one, you can't ask for a lot more. Overall, this was a practice that was won by the defense. I mentioned with Love that the pass rush was quick. It wasn't just the pass rush. It was overall pressure against the run game, too. Realistically, if this were live tackling, pass and run would have been shut down pretty quickly, rather stifled, actually. Um, Beyond that, the pressure did come from Wyatt, from Preston, from Kenny Clark quite a bit. And then, like I said, Christian Watson, just case of the drops, dropped quite a few today. Other notables, especially in terms of rotation, the first string defense, Preston Smith, Devontae Wyatt, Kenny Clark, TJ Slayton, Justin Hollins, maybe the only surprise there, Quay Walker, Devondre Campbell, Jair Douglas, Rudy Ford, Darnell Savage, just like they said it would be at safety. So Hollins continuing to get those first string reps at edge while Rashawn Gary is out over Enagbare, over LVN, over Cox, etc., etc. On the offense, the first string, Love, Jones, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Josiah DeGuara, Luke Musgrave was in with the ones basically all the time. It was a lot of 2 tight end stuff today for DeGuara and Musgrave. And then the offensive line for the first stringers was Bach, Elton Jenkins, Josh Myers, John Reno Jr., and Zach Tom. Zach Tom took all, I think, as far as I could tell, all of the first team reps at right tackle, fending off Yosh Nijman at least in day 1. Other than that, QBs seem to rotate, like the ones behind Love as to who was 2, 3, 4. They seem to do quite a bit of rotating. And I can say this too about Musgrave. He's absolutely tight end 2. Like there's no doubt about it, at least at this first practice. Now, getting to your request, because I said last week during the Jersey series, let's use the fact that we're still a small channel to our advantage. And if you got stuff you want me to look at, just send in a request and I'll look at it. So here's the list of requests. First of all, the tight ends, right? How did the tight ends do? What was the rotations? Well, Josiah DeGuara, he absolutely is holding down the H-back job, and I would say overall, he's still tight end 1. But Luke Musgrave got more play with the ones than I was expecting. And here's the deal with Musgrave. If practice 1, now don't overreact, don't you do it. This is training camp 1, practice 1. Like things are on a learning curve right now, especially for the rookies. I got to say, Luke Musgrave has to learn how to block because he got blown by a lot with tremendous regularity when he was on the line. Preston Smith did it to him. I think Enagbare got him once. Overall, in totality, he was just blown by on the line. Now, we've talked about how realistically he's probably more of a slot receiver in this first year. The Packers tried him at inline tight end a lot today, and it wasn't good so far. Kraft did have a couple nice plays as well. A lot of rotation in the tight ends. DeGuara, probably tight end 1. Musgrave did go with the ones a lot. But then Kraft, Davis, like it's just a lot of mixing different parts. Got questions about Kobe Wooden and Carl Brooks, the 2 rookie defensive linemen. I'm sorry, nothing notable to report. Just being honest, like nothing that they did really stood out today. There was no rep that either one of them got like marked pressure on the quarterback. They were there. They were present. They did their stuff. Sorry, nothing real notable there. In terms of wide receiver depth, I'd actually go with Bo Melton as the standout. Now, I'm talking like wide receiver 6 job, right? Dontavian Wicks, probably wide receiver 5 right now, did some really nice stuff, and he is smooth. Beyond that, Jaden Reed looked the part. He looked very, very quick. As I said, Watson had some drops. Dobbs had some nice catches from Love, especially going deep down the field. And I've talked about how, like, expect Dobbs to be utilized down the field a little bit more this year, just like he was in college. And then Toure also found his way open a few times. Now, Toure did not have any streaking down the field style plays, but he got open when Love was evading pressure. That happened at least twice that I can think of, and both times Love threw to him. In fact, probably the best play of the day in totality for the offense was the very last rep where Love hit Toure streaking down the field. But in terms of like that wide receiver 6 job, Bo Melton is the standout. Now keep in mind, Dubose is still hurt with the back. Cotton is gone. This was Crest's first day here total. But beyond that, Jadakiss Bonds had a drop from a pass from Sean Clifford. Deuce Watts, certainly saw him in the mix, but nothing notable. Same kind of with Heath. I mean, Heath's got some wiggle in his game. You could see that today, but I wouldn't say that there was anything that made me go like, "Ooh, there he is." No, the one that really stood out to me was Bo Melton. A lot of quick passes across the middle, regardless of who was at quarterback. A lot of quick slants to Melton. A lot of quick curls into the middle of the field. A lot of hooks. Melton absolutely just was catching a lot today and had a lot of wiggle. I mean, he's a guy that the quick twitch speed is very, very evident for Bo Melton. He's probably actually my player of the day overall. And then Cox Jr., again, kind of like Brooks and Wooden, nothing real notable there today. Toure, as I said, connected with Love a couple times. There was one where Love was rolling out right with some pressure. Toure like got open in the zone. He was wide open. Love went to throw to him. And I couldn't tell if Love threw a little bit too far right or if Toure kind of read it wrong as he was running. But regardless, when the ball got there, Toure kind of bobbled it. He wound up making the catch, but I heard from others he actually caught it on the line or out of bounds. Take it for what you will, but still getting open, good sign. Love throwing to him too when he's open, good sign. Something a little different. And then the International Pathways player, Guanagu, nothing notable there as well. A lot of the pressure today did come from Kenny Clark, Wyatt, Preston had a lot, I believe, and Egbare had one where he burst into the backfield. Ton of pressure today, just not from the guys that I've been specifically asked about to this point. So, overall, players of the day, realistically, Bo Melton seemed to catch my eye the most. But Jair had a beautiful pass breakup where he lunged through the air to break it up on a Love throw going deep. But other than that, those are the two that really caught it the most. Then I guess you could give just the general award to the pass rush pressure defensive front. One interesting little cool thing that I don't recall seeing from previous years, but as the players gathered for a final huddle, and I have one other thing too. Don't leave yet. I got one other thing. Sorry. As the players were gathering for their final huddle, LaFleur must have said whether offense or defense won the day because all of a sudden they do their huddle, and then all of the guys who play offense got down and started doing push-ups. I don't recall seeing that from future years, so it's going to be something really cool to watch in future days. Then, this is the thing I told you to hang out for. As practice was over, like everyone's clearing off the field, right? They got out the jugs machine, and the punt returning crew did some extra work with the jugs machine. And guess what? Keyshawn Nixon was the first one to take reps. Jaden Reed was second, but also present was Samari Toure was there. Crest, the new guy, was there. Malik Heath was there. And Aaron Jones. And now this could have just been for fun. He could have just been hanging out. Bisaccia could have just said, hell, go play. But Aaron Jones took punt return reps. And I thought that was notable. Also notable that Nixon is still the first one taking those reps ahead of Reed. So there you have it, folks. That's all the inside stuff from training camp day one. I will be back tomorrow doing the exact same thing, giving you the breakdown. And if you want me to check for something specifically tomorrow, just drop it in the comments. I'll be happy to take a look for you. Thanks so much for joining me here on Lombardi Time Brews. I will see you tomorrow. And as always, go Pack Go.